everybody. Hello. Welcome to one of my favorite classes that we do, which is session 3, when we get to journey. And today is extra fun because we're working with our drums for the first time together in the collective. I can't wait. I hope that you're excited too. I've been looking forward to today forever. It's always fun when these super exciting days arrive that we get to drum together, and I know you're as excited as I am. It's been so fun seeing your posts and seeing everybody getting ready. And if you don't have a drum, that's okay. This is what came with your tools for this month. But if you don't have a drum, maybe you have a different drum. Maybe you have a bottle of Advil you can shake. Maybe you have a pot and or a pan and a spatula or something you can make some noise with. Whatever you got, whatever you're going to shake, I'm excited to shake it with you. Are you ready? So I have a journey planned for you. It's a journey that we've never done before. I haven't done it before with you. I've done it before with my own teachers, but I've never taught it before, so I'm excited to introduce you. And then we're going to drum. Well, we're going to drum while we journey. I have a little bit to teach you before we do that. And then for the second, and we're going to perfume today too. So that's all happening. And then in the second hour, hopefully there'll be enough time. I'm hoping to leave the last 30 minutes for Q&A. I did this fun little thing on my personal Facebook page. Some of you saw it because maybe you follow me on Facebook. Everything I post on Facebook is public. But I'm at the friend limit, so I can't accept more friends, but unfortunately. I wait for people to leave me, and then I can add you, is how I do it. But anyway, I posted last night, and I was like, ask me anything, you know what I mean? And I'll answer every question that you've got. And I answered as many as I could before I went to bed. And it was so much fun, so I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do a live version of my Ask Me Anything? And that way, if there's questions on your mind, I would love to hear what they are and give you my best 2 cents, my best thinking about it. So hopefully that will be the last half hour of our time together today. I've taken off all my jewelry because we're making perfume. And so I'm ready to go. I hope you are too. I'm going to show you, these are the perfume tools that we're working with today. So we've got our jojoba. I've had to refill this 3 times because I've been crafting at home. I've made a new body scrub for Sage Goddess, and I concocted it here at the house. So I kept refilling my little bottle of jojoba. Then you have your perfume bottle, and then tonight what we're blending, I'm going to teach you all about ginger, black pepper, which is one of my faves, and galangal, which is actually related to ginger, but just a little different. You're a deep well of questions. I love it. Shake your booty till your drum gets here. That works for me. God bless the United States Postal Service. In all seriousness, they are some of the heroes of this pandemic year, and I'm sure your tools are on their way to you if they haven't reached you already. So many questions. And I don't have all the answers. I have some good answers though. And I'll always tell you like my best thinking. So yeah, this body scrub is crazy. I put all the essential oils in it to remove cellulite. And it's actually what I have used all my life for cellulite. When I was in my early 20s, I had cellulite. I don't have cellulite now. And I think it's because I started dry brushing in my 30s. I finally had somebody teach me about dry brushing. And it completely removed every bit of cellulite from my body. I mean, I'm not in perfect shape, but I don't have lumps and bumps. So if you use the scrub and you use a dry brush, you can have very smooth skin. And that's a fun thing too. And essential oils really do work for cellulite. You ready? Did this perfume come with the kit? No. So this is, I do this kit separately. This little kit right here. And I'll tell you why. Some people cannot afford the monthly tools, right? I mean, they're beautiful, but they're $100. This kit is $20 after your discount. So there are a lot of people in our community who get the perfume kit because they want to do some crafting, they want to have a part of the energy of what we're doing, but they can't get the whole kit. Now there are some people who do both, and that's okay too. But a lot of the people who get the perfume kit do not get the regular kit. If I put them all together, then those people wouldn't have a way to participate. Does it make sense? So this is kind of like a mini kit, still gets you involved with the energy, and in some ways this is one of the most important parts of our tools, because this is a way for us to connect around the energy of scent, and it's super powerful. Yay! Exciting, right? Yeah, it does kind of allow everybody to feel included. And you may already have some of these oils, those of you who don't have the kit, so you might want to look in your magical cabinet or your apothecary situation and see, because you might have some ginger, or you might have some black pepper from your other travels, and you can totally work with that. And then next week, Tina Briggs, is when we decorate. Session 4 of Soul Shift is always our crafting session. So if you're new to Soul Shift, Session 3 is journeying, Session 4 is crafting, and our crafting this month, mine is already decorated because mine is not. Team SG made this as a sample. I'm going to be decorating my drum with you next week. So I'm just showing you kind of the universe of possibility. Didn't Team SG, to inspire you for next week, didn't they do a beautiful job? They wrapped the ribbon around, they glued the rhinestones in between the hide, right? They used a paint pen to write the inscription, Rise Goddess from the Ashes of Alchemical Awakening, right? Which is the same thing that's on your mat for this month. And then they used our flash tattoos, which apply perfectly to your drums. And I think we included a sheet of flash tattoos this month in your kit so that you would have something to start with. And then if you have other flash tattoos, if you have stickers, if you've got the paint pens from the free class I taught yesterday, whatever you've got to work with. And then look what they did with the beater. Yeah, because we sent you all the chipstones. So if you want, again, just to inspire you for next week's class, this is kind of one way for you to think about it. But you're going to do a beautiful job. You're going to make this completely new, you know, and completely unique to you. And I'm so excited to see what you do, because usually I show you something and then you guys do something that's 100 times better, which is great. But like I said, I take zero credit for this. This is Team SG's magic. I have so many amazing artists on our team, and they knock my socks off with what they do. I know. The tattoos are really interesting. What you do is or they're easy, I should say. What you do is you cut out the design that you want, okay? You put it upside down, whether it's on your skin or it's on your drum, and then you put a very lightly damp towel over it and hold it for about 5 seconds. And then when you lift up the towel, and you gotta take the plastic off the front of it too. So you want just the tattoo touching the surface. And then when you lift up the towel, the design will remain. And it's permanent on your drum. And on your skin, it usually lasts about, I don't know, 7 to 10 days, depending on where you put it. Yeah, so I'm going to teach you about the skin and the wood of your drum. Momo is responsible for these drums. Momo had these drums made for you. These started like 6 months ago. These are handmade, hand-wrapped drums made in Bali. The wood is teak. This part of your wood is teak. The skin is goat. So this is a natural animal hide. And goat, the reason why goat is so sacred, this is my only goat drum, and I'm really excited about that. The reason why goat is so sacred, goat represents, and depending on where you look, but in Native American cosmology, goat represents healing, and goat represents strength and independence. Goat represents doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. It represents putting yourself first, strength, independence, fortitude, healing. So we thought that was a fantastic combination for you. Teak is very holy, yeah, and goat is an extremely powerful spirit ally especially for physical healing. So I would welcome you to consider this a healing drum. That's how I'm looking at mine. When I need to hold space for someone, when they say, oh, you know, I've this, that, and the other is going on, could you hold space for me? Could you raise some energy? This is going to be the drum I go to do that work. So hopefully you're excited about that. Momo's doing really good. He's traveling right now to see his mom in the UK, but he's doing fantastic. We love working together. Momo and I actually work together a lot now. I am the US distributor for Mercurius Designs, which is pretty cool. So I have most of his jewelry inventory at our shop in Carson, which is pretty exciting. And you see his stuff on sagegoddess.com now. There's a Momo section. And you can use your discount codes on his jewelry and all kinds of things, which is really exciting. So if you're ever looking for Mercurius Designs goodies, Sage Goddess is definitely one of the places to look. And we're just friends anyway, you know, so I feel really blessed to have him in my life. And he's making rain discs for you. He's the one who's responsible for bringing you all those rattles that we've been bringing you, and the different sound tools. He's been sending all of that to me from Bali. So, no, tequila has not been found, unfortunately. I think he thinks tequila is maybe lost for good. I'm holding space that tequila will come back. That's Momo's little kitty cat. So we're holding space for that. I'm so excited for you. Okay, so let's begin at the beginning. Did I ring my bell? This is what menopause does to your brain. I don't think I rang it. If I did, I'm ringing it twice today for good measure. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn some copal for us to kind of prepare the space. I know. Okay, good, I didn't ring it. Oh, thanks, you guys. Okay, so a little bit of copal just to set the space, especially since we're journeying a little bit today. It's not a full journey, so we don't need to open a big, massive circle for today. We can just, I'm just gonna briefly open a circle and call the directions, just because we do call the spirits when we drum, and it is nice to just, you know, follow your protocol. But we don't have to do as intense an opening as we usually do. The rain discs are on their way, but they've been on their way for months. I know. Okay. So I'm just sending a little bit of that really sweet copal medicine your way. Copal, if you were not in Soul Shift last year, I actually spent a whole month teaching you about copal. Do you remember? Wasn't that a fun class, our Aztec healing ceremony last year? It was one of my favorite classes of 2020. I still work with that bowl. I still work with that wand. Still one of my favorite classes. In any case, I taught you all about copal, which is a member of the Bursera family, same family as Palo Santo, interestingly enough. And so this is an incredible healer, cleanser, releaser of energy, especially really stuck energy responds well to copal. So if you feel like there's energy around you that you're having trouble moving, this is a great way to work with it. And what they do in Mexico, we now have an artisan in Mexico who makes these just for me, which is really cool. It took a year for me to find this person. But they dip these. So what they do is they take the stick and then they melt the copal resin and they dip and they dry and dip and they dry and they dip and they dry. This is about 10 dips of copal. And then it's basically like just burning the resin, but without needing to have charcoal, which is kind of a cool thing. Isn't that yummy? And then I'm going to take the smoke of this over our perfume. Over the drum. And our journey today is going to be a journey to introduce you to the spirit of your drum. Because every drum, if you believe what I believe, has a spirit. And when you start to work with an instrument that's new, it's important to introduce yourself to it and allow it to introduce itself to you. And so, and then I like to put my incense sticks into my plants and let the ash fall into the plant. Yeah, so that's a nice place to begin, a nice way to settle the energy, especially if you've had a long day. You know, I've been with you most of the day, but if you've had a long day or you're just beginning your ceremonial work, if you're transitioning from work to home, or if you're transitioning from taking care of your kids to coming into class, it's really nice to burn some copal. It literally helps your spirit settle and helps you to start to feel as though you're settling into sacred space. Your favorite class was the cacao ceremony? It's hard because I love them all in their own way. I think they're all really interesting and unique. So it's hard to pick favorites. Somebody asked me last night what my favorite class of all time was, and I said, I kind of think it was last year's graduation ceremony from Soul Shift. I was so in awe of all of you for completing Soul Shift during the hardest part in many ways of the pandemic. It was like to see you guys commit to a year-long course of study and finish, and commit to your own transformation when the world itself was transforming, to me was heroic. And I was so in awe of you, truly, I mean, sincerely, I still am. I'm in awe of you now, that I was overcome, with all the emotions. And as a teacher, it's really intense to have those moments when you just sit and go, they did this. You know what I mean? Like, they said yes to this. And there were 1,000 times when you guys could have said, it's too much, it's too hard, I can't do it, I'm overwhelmed, and you didn't. And I'm just so beyond proud of you. So, yeah. Anyway, I think all the classes are special, but there are some that really stand out. And it's nice for you to have some favorites, too. So, and if you're new, that's exactly how I will feel this December when you complete your experience, too. Really, really beautiful and powerful. Okay. I got a new tool, which is a prototype. Sorry if that was rough on your ears. I played it last night for the first time. And so I'm going to play it for you now, just to begin the process of opening our space together. This is a harp of sorts. Isn't that beautiful? I know. It's a powerful clearing. I know. I'm hoping holiday time these will be ready. Aren't they beautiful? And what's cool is you can hang it, but it also folds. And it comes with the most beautiful carrying case made out of like sari fabric. It looks like a yoga bag, and then you can travel with it. It goes over your shoulder. Isn't that cool? I love sound tools, as you know. Addicted, collecting. But sound healing is the future of healing. Frequency healing is the future. There's no other way. We've mastered most of the other domains, but we have not mastered the domain of sound. And I'll tell you something, we still have a lot to learn from the Egyptians. The pyramids in Egypt were built as sound chambers. I'm sure you realize this. And they're actually laid out, if you look along the Nile, if you look along that pathway, that Giza pathway, they're laid out in the order of your chakras. Did you know that? And so each one of the pyramids was attuned to a single frequency. So what the priests would do in Egypt is they would figure out what kind of healing you needed, and then they would direct you to one of the pyramids. And in the base of the pyramid, they did sound healing. And I believe that's actually how the pyramids were positioned and created and moved, is through sound. So I think we still have a lot to learn about sound, and I hope we learn it in my lifetime. I really do. I have a feeling that there's so many doors that we're going to unlock, whether it's curing what we think of as incurable diseases, all the way to even minor things that need to be healed and cured, and cured. Okay. So I want to start by teaching you just a little bit. I want to talk to you about kind of the who, what, when, where, and why of drumming. Percussion is not new, right? Percussion is one of the oldest forms of music. And so since the beginning of time, right, our ancestors have been finding one thing to beat on something else and make a rhythm. The kind of drumming that we do in shamanism, which is drumming to reach a higher or more elevated state of conscious awareness, what you might call a trance, that kind of drumming is very specific. And there's different beats that you can use to create that kind of trance state. I posted a video this afternoon on my personal Facebook page that has some really beautiful shamanic drumming that's woven into some beautiful music from Iceland. I'm pretty sure they're from Iceland. And so if you're really connected to the Norse tradition, if you're really connected to those super northern territories that are so magical, the Viking tradition, you might enjoy watching that video. And it gives you a sense of how that constant rhythmic bass line can create a foundation. And from there, it's like whether you're singing or chanting or reciting mantra, what happens is your body becomes entirely attuned to that rhythm. You even start to notice heart rate changes, right? If the drumming is fast, you will feel an increase in your heart rate. If the drumming is slower than your heart rate, you will feel your heart rate start to decrease. And I have had so many experiences where either I'm drumming and this happens, or someone else is drumming and it happens to me, where I can feel like almost like I'm exercising, right? Like when the beat gets faster and my heart rate's going faster, it's like like you're running, right? And then when the beat comes down and your heart rate starts to match it, and it comes down to like a slower rate, and your breath starts to elongate, right? So you can, in the course of a shamanic drumming experience, you can lead people on an entirely unique journey, and it can really affect everything, including their metabolism and their heart rate. It's interesting, right? So we also drum to connect to the spirit world. I believe, that the spirits recognize the drumming, and there's some part of you that knows it, right? Whether it's from a past life or many past lives, or maybe you were a priest or a priestess and you drummed in ancient ceremonies, right? And so when you hear that rhythm, it's like something in you just knows what's happening, and you're there. A lot of people get really intimidated to drum. Does anybody else ever feel like that? Like they get nervous to drum in public. They don't want to go to drum circles. Drum circles are the best. I've led them at Sage Goddess before. Some of you have been there. If you ever have a chance to come to a drum circle in person, and I sure as goodness hope we're going to have drum circles again post-COVID, it is one of the most fun experiences, because you realize that you're bringing something unique to that music that's being created that wouldn't be there if you weren't there. But yeah, see, some of you are saying, a little shy, I'm not sure, intimidated, yes, I have no rhythm. But I'm going to teach you tonight that you do have rhythm. You absolutely do have rhythm. And I'm going to teach you a single beat and a double beat. The most important thing I want you to consider working on is learning how to talk and conduct ceremony while you drum. A lot of you see me call in the elements, and I kind of, I sort of channel that. I used to read. It's cute. I used to write my invocations to the elements, and I used to change them every month, every ceremony, and then I would read it. If you go back on Facebook, you can see older ceremonies where I did that. I don't do that anymore. And it really was after I started working with ayahuasca, which was about 6 years ago, that I felt like the words started to just come to me, and I didn't have to, But I'll tell you where that's coming from, just so maybe it makes you feel better. That was coming from a place of feeling like I needed to prepare. You know what I mean? Like, I better be ready. I better have my ducks in the row. I better know exactly what I'm going to say. What if I forget? And then what I realized is it's actually really beautiful to let your words just come. And if there's a moment where you don't have any words, maybe that's meant to be a silent moment. Maybe you're not supposed to fill that moment with words, right? Do you like it better now? I appreciate it. I've had a couple people say they miss when I would write it because they liked having very concrete words, but most people prefer for me just to go with it. But I want to encourage you to learn how to talk and drum at the same time. And there's no way to learn how to do that other than practicing. Now, you don't have to do it in front of people if you don't want to, but here's my dream and fantasy. Ready? My dream and fantasy is that you get so excited about this that you start drumming, maybe on Facebook, maybe on your personal page or in your story, or maybe you decide to share a video with us in Soul Shift of you drumming, and maybe you start working your way up. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you start just sharing your drum, and you can go live and tell people, hey, I'm gonna raise some energy for us tonight, come along and drum with me. I would love to. I'm hoping that at least a few dozen of you will get super inspired tonight and decide to make drumming a bigger part of your magical life, because it is not difficult. You can do it, and what I'm teaching you tonight is super basic. You can't screw it up. You can't screw it up. So I hope you'll go forward with a sense of confidence in your heart. Drumming can also be an offering, and I really look at it this way. Sometimes I go out in the garden just to drum to my plants, just to drum to Gaia, just to drum to nature. And I think to myself sometimes how beautiful that is, right? If you were nature, do you ever think about this way? How many people in your life ever even stop to notice nature? You know, they're running around, rushing around. Have they noticed that the jasmine in their garden is about to bloom? And meanwhile, the jasmine in their garden is like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And in the hustle and bustle, you know, the people who owned my house before I moved here were really lovely people, but they were very busy. And one of the things that drew me to this house was the garden. It has a big, beautiful garden. There's my little hummingbird outside. And she said to me, I kind of befriended her as we were going through escrow, and she said, I hope you have a chance to enjoy this garden more than I did, because I was working so hard and my daughter was very young and I just had no time to really spend on it, and the plants were all neglected. But some of them that are thriving now were here when she was here, and I think, she was so busy she didn't get a chance to see the jasmine, you know, or to watch her roses bloom. And so I hope you take the time. And then if you think about it, how few people even notice nature. Next level down is how few people give gifts back to nature. You know, how few people give offerings back, give the ash out of their abalone shell at the end of the month, or go out and drum for nature, and not for any human, but just for the plants, you know, just for the birds, just for the roots of the trees, right, to make them healthy and strong. So I think it's really important to start to think about drumming not just as a way to raise energy, because it certainly is. It does raise energy. You'll feel it as we start to get into this tonight. It's like, yeah, you can feel it. If you're a little tired right now, try and register that. How are you feeling right this minute? If you're a little tired, you might feel better after class tonight. You might feel like you have a little pep in your step. And just as I say that, my cutie pie out there, oh, Joseph, he's sitting in his usual branch. Joseph's got pep in his step. Maybe he'll help us tonight with the rhythm, right? I love that. Karina says, I see nature before all the man-made stuff. Isn't that beautiful? And if you don't have a lot of nature, that's okay. Get a house plant. Sing to it. Burn your incense in it. Find a way to be grateful for what's around you. So to connect with spirit, to go into trance, for divination, sometimes when I don't have an answer to a big question, I will drum for an answer. And it comes. It really does come. So if I'm really struggling with something, it hasn't happened to me in quite a while. I've been the odd gift of this pandemic has been I'm pretty clear. I haven't had a lot of confusion. I've been tired, and I've felt, I've lost a little faith in humanity, but I have not felt unclear about what I'm doing or where I'm going or what's happening. But when I do feel unclear, I often find that an answer will come when I'm drumming that I just couldn't get to when I was like overthinking. You know what I mean? Because when you're too much in your head, sometimes the answers that come are less clear than you'd like them to be. But when you're drumming, it's like you're in that place and you're disconnected from your head. You know, it's more of a visceral experience, and so it gives a sense of spaciousness in your mind that that sometimes isn't achievable in any other way. Now, the rules for drumming, I'm mostly self-taught. One of my teachers also was like, let me show you some tips and tricks. And so I've had a little bit of guidance over the years. The way I'm teaching you tonight is how I started. So hopefully this is helpful for you too. And the rule is start really simply. We're going to start simply tonight. If you are experienced, you can go all crazy and do like a double beat over a double beat and kind of really get crazy and pick up the rhythm and, go in between the beats and all of that. But what I would say is maybe try to keep the consistent beat with us tonight, because if the entire collective is vibrating to that one frequency, I think our experience is going to be more powerful. I really do. So, but you're welcome to go as crazy as you want to go. One great way to practice drumming is to drum along to some songs that have a great bass line. I think on my SoundCloud, do I have a drumming playlist? I don't think I have I do have my phone. Let me just look at my SoundCloud really quick and see, because if I do, that might be a good place. I do. I have a drum circle playlist. That is my SoundCloud. Isn't that cool? So this one, Spirit of the Tribe, this one right here, was one that we drummed to, I'm pretty sure, during either a retreat or a drum circle that I had. And then there's so many good ones on here. It's not a huge long list, but these are long tracks. Okay, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. So this is going to give you probably at least an hour, probably closer to 2 hours of just and this is free, like, this isn't part of your membership. You can follow me for free on SoundCloud. I have a Soul Shift playlist on there. I have my ayahuasca playlists on there. I have a playlist that Yasmina inspired called Hatha Flow. I have a playlist from Momo on there called Momo Mix. That's some of his favorite music that he shared with me over all these years. So on SoundCloud, Alexis, can you type my SoundCloud? It's my first name and last name with a dash in between. It's Athena-Parakis. And Alexis will, she just posted. Thank you so much. She was already 2 steps ahead, as per usual. Thank you, Alexis. And you can click there, and then you can follow all the playlists if you want, or if there's only some that you like. I have one that's newer with 80s music. All my favorite 80s songs are on there. So I have very diverse musical tastes, but enjoy that one. My journey playlists will take you to another dimension. They're very intense journey playlists. So enjoy that one. If you have Sonos, like I do, you can put it on and play it through your speaker system and things like that too. Okay. Our journey today, like I said, is a journey to meet the spirit of your drum. Each one of your drums, especially if it has an animal hide, has a spirit, and I believe they choose you. I really do. And so today I'm hoping you'll get some good, clear answers about why this particular drum has chosen you and what kind of wisdom or guidance it's here to really support and provide you with. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like the playlist. I'm so glad. There's some really incredible. Aya 3 is your favorite. Aya 3, I don't know. Aya 3 is probably my favorite of all the playlists, but then I have a list called My Faves, which is really good too. Anyway, we could talk about this all night long. But I took a long time to curate those lists, so you're benefiting from me in the sense that you don't have to go back and find all those songs. It was a pleasure, but it was also a serious task to. That's better. I was kind of like blown out by the lights there. It's a serious task to curate those. I'm hoping to get more drums. If we weren't going through COVID, I would say sure. The problem is, like, for a while Bali was not that impacted. Now Bali's having a time with COVID. It's like even the countries that weren't as impacted, like Nepal never really had a problem. Now Nepal's in the throes of it. Southeast Asia is struggling. So I'm hoping, because all of the sound instruments I bring you are from Bali. And now they're struggling the way, we were at some point. So, or not to that extent, but they're having their own issues. So I'm hoping more drums, maybe by holiday time. We are definitely working on it for you. Kaya 3 is your favorite too, Rochelle. It's interesting. Okay, and then the last thing I want to tell you is during this journey, when we do it, we're going to make our perfume first, but during this journey, you can ask this drum to teach you how to play it. And I'm telling you, when I first had someone tell me that, I didn't believe it. I was like, you can ask your drum to teach you how to play it? And it's like, you really can ask your drum to show you the way. So tonight, if that's what you want, you can say, you know what, teach me, show me, introduce me. And you're welcome to sing, you're welcome to chant, you're welcome to tone, whatever sounds good to you, in whatever way you want to do it. And, you know, you're in the privacy of your own space, so I won't see you, but I mean, I wish I could, but so I hope you get into the spirit of it and really let go for a little while. Yeah, it's very bad in Nepal. I want to thank all of you, by the way, who donated to the orphanage that Yasmina supports, because we were able to support quite a few children through all of these Sage Goddess donations from our community that came through. Sage Goddess raised $1,000 for them. And then she said there were so many donations from you guys that poured in. Some of you bought shawls, but some of you just donated directly to the orphanage. And so she wanted me to tell you that we have made a real difference in Nepal, our collective, our community, through your donations. They were worried they were going to have to let go of some of the people who take care of the children there. And I don't think they're going to have to do that now, which is really, really cool. So thank you for your support. That was huge for you to dive in like that. And Yasmina was very touched as well. So thank you for that. Alexis, I don't know, do you have the link to the orphanage? I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I go back and look and then I forget again. Menopause. But Alexis has the link to the orphanage. You don't feel like you have to. It's only if you feel called to it, but it's a pretty cool thing. You know, it's like, it's one step toward making things better for those who are really struggling right now. Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah, so Alexis, if you have that link, she'll share it with you. Okay, so now what I want to do is make our perfume, and then we'll anoint, and then we're going to drum. Yeah. The shawls are pretty amazing, I have to say. I will tell you, so I'm like you, right? Like if I want to buy something and it's a big purchase, what do you do when you want to buy something that's in a big purchase, right? You go out and you try to see if you can find it elsewhere. I was like, well, these are really expensive. I wonder if I can find something similar, but maybe not quite as expensive. There's literally nobody in the world who has what she has. I did a lot of extensive research. I got one from her, and then I'm like, I've got to be able to find these, and it's like nobody's got them. But where she has her shawls made, the cashmere is brushed. It's not shaved off of the animal, so the texture of it is completely different. It's an otherworldly experience. Yeah, some people call it a striker or a mallet, or a beater. Beater always feels weird. A beater feels like an electric beater in my kitchen. So, because that's what my grandma called the mixer, the hand mixer. She called it a beater. So it's hard for me to call a mallet a beater. Thanks for that, Fabienne. Yeah, I don't know how to guide you with which shawl to get, but the one that I got first is my favorite. The hands, it's all the little children's hands. It's their actual handprints that was on a mural on the wall at the orphanage, and she snapshotted it and then had the scarves made. So it's literally all their hands. It's so beautiful. Okay. All right. So let's come over here. I'm going to teach you about these oils, my loves, and get us going with our perfuming today. So this particular combination of oils, you know, it's every one we call the Journey to. This is your Journey to reunion. You can see my little feet back here. This is your Journey to reunion. And we're calling it that because part of what we're transitioning now into through Soul Shift and through our work on alchemy is a reunion within yourself, right? We've gone through separation, and we're still in the separation phase. But shortly we're going to be heading into more of the integrative phases of alchemy. And the point of that is to bring your masculine and your feminine into deeper alignment and relationship. And so that is the purpose of this oil. And these are very masculine oils. Especially the black pepper, and the ginger are very masculine. Ginger is governed by Mars, which of course is the war planet, very masculine. Galangal is a very feminine oil. It's nurturing, it's warming, it's an aphrodisiac. So I was always taught in aromatherapy that this is the divine masculine and the divine feminine of the Zingiber family. The Zingiber family, Zingiber. And if you take my perfume class starting in July, you're going to learn more about Southeast Asian oils, because we're focusing on Indonesia for one of the months. The Zingiber family is, usually people assume it's ginger, but there are other plants in the Zingiber family like galangal. Galangal is the feminine. Galangal is more expensive. That's why you have a half bottle. I wouldn't be able to do the kit for $20 if I gave you a full-size dram. It would have been about $26, and I didn't want to raise the price. So I decided to give you a half dram so I could keep the price where it was. So when you get a half dram of something, it's because it's more expensive. So, and then of course, like everything in life, they usually smell the best. The most expensive things usually smell the best. I'd love that for you, Callie, to add Angelica. Angelica is feminine protection, so I like that for you a lot. And that would be an additional oil that I think would resonate with the others that are here too. Okay, so let's talk more about these oils, just so I can make sure I've given you all the 411 on them, and then we'll get to blending. So ginger is associated with Mars, as I mentioned. It's warrior energy, it's vitality, immunity. It helps to strengthen your auric field. It also helps to release unwanted energy from the auric field. Now, it stimulates the masculine energy in your body. Some people say that it stimulates testosterone, for example, the production of testosterone. So it definitely raises the vibration of the masculine. It helps you overcome doubt. It gives you confidence. It helps to turn thoughts into action. It amplifies other herbs. So it's going to empower that galangal, and it's going to empower the black pepper. It also stimulates and opens the sacral chakra. So it enhances sexual desire and potency. And so it's good for libido too. Yeah. You're missing the small dram? Don't worry, Alexis will help you. The team will send one out to you if you're missing it for any reason. It may have just, you know what happens sometimes to people, because it's small, when they open their bag, they don't realize that it's there, and they end up throwing it away, which is really sad. That may not have happened in your case, but that has happened to other customers because it's small. They don't realize it, and it kind of slips out, and it ends up in the trash. So you got to be careful when you take your stuff out of the bag too. And then let's talk about, so smell it though, first of all, to see if you like it. Is this one you want to use in your blend? I recommend using all three in your blend, but you don't have to use them equally. So you may decide you want to use just a little bit of your ginger. And you can sense the sharpness of it, right? That's the masculinity of that particular note, is in its sharpness. And then the galangal is the feminine, as we talked about, also from Southeast Asia. Galangal is related to ginger, but quite different. It's a little softer, as you can probably tell by smelling. It's a little sweeter. It nurtures the fire inside of you. So ginger lights the fire, galangal keeps it lit, if you will, right? Oh, nice. Am I giving you kind of like a little bit of a journey by watching all the shapes on my tray? It burns away old beliefs, limiting beliefs about what's possible, which I love too. It increases focus and clarity. It is very grounding. It's very protective. It wards off all low vibrations, and it helps also attract financial success and abundance. And then some people also say it develops your psychic gifts and abilities. And then the last oil is black pepper. Black pepper is neuroprotective. So I work with black pepper all the time. If you were to go into my bedroom right now, black pepper is one of the essential oils that you would see because I work with it every day. It's highly, highly, highly neuroprotective, and I have MS. So all of the neuroprotective oils, which includes black pepper, frankincense, opoponax is neuroprotective. Those are good to diffuse, to inhale. It's very helpful. Oh, interesting. Chanel said that it's used in case spells, galangal. And its nickname is Low Chewing John. Chanel, you're going to have to tell us the story about that. I got to know. Yeah, Donna, you can use anything you want if you don't have the kit, not to worry. I'm going through everything for those who did purchase the kit, but you can definitely use your intuition. Now, when you smell black pepper, a lot of people are surprised. They expect it because they're thinking black pepper like in your food. And they're surprised at how kind of soft and sweet it is. It's one of my faves, and you will not believe how sexy it is in a perfume. If you don't want to smell black pepper in your blend, then be very sparing with it. I tend to love it, so I do allow it to be forward in my blends because I enjoy it. But if it's not your favorite, what it's going to do from a perfumery perspective is it's going to tighten up the ginger and galangal, especially the galangal. It'll tighten it up, meaning it's going to bring out the scent of those other oils even more powerfully. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that information, right? And black pepper and pink pepper can to some extent be used interchangeably unless you're working it for the neuroprotective angle. Pink peppercorn and white pepper, if you ever get white pepper essential oil, are not as neuroprotective as black pepper. But if you're using it for perfuming, they're interchangeable. Is that helpful? So it depends on what you're doing. We're not making a neuroprotective blend today, but I just wanted to teach you that because some of you have MS like me, or you have other nerve or central nervous system issues, and black pepper can be really, really healing for you. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure you knew that as one of its additional healing blends. Black pepper is also protective. It boosts the power of all spiritual work, and that's true of pink peppercorn and black peppercorn oil. Yeah. It also increases focus. It overcomes fear. It eases stress and tension. It revitalizes your physical energy field. And like galangal, it's an aphrodisiac. So I am, once again, not responsible for what happens to you when you start using your reunion perfume. I mean, I couldn't make a union blend and not have it be an aphrodisiac. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if you have chronic migraines, please, please, please try this for your headaches. Truly. It is so worth a try because I've had a lot of success myself with nerve pain, with migraines, with, you get tension headaches sometimes. Black pepper is the best. What I like to do is take a washcloth, put it under some really hot water, get it nice and wet, wring it out while it's still warm, put some black pepper essential oil on there, lay down and put that over your eyes. You can add a little lavender to that. Petitgrain Surfleur is great for migraines too. Opoponax helps too. So these are just some additional things you can do with these oils. Now, if anything I'm telling you is interesting, you may not want to use every drop of these oils for your perfume. You may want to save a little bit and make a different recipe based on what I'm inspiring you to do today. So you do you when it comes to your blend. You can use as much of these oils in your blend or as little as you want because it's your perfume. Okay, so I'm going to take my my copal stick and clear my bottle, which involves just putting the copal stick into the bottle and until it fogs up. Do you see? You see the smoke in there? Isn't that cool? How it's all foggy? That whole bottle is full of copal smoke. You can see it leaving the bottle, right? Isn't that cool? So that's how you know that bottle is nice and clean. And then I want you to set an intention for this blend. My intention is that it will connect me with my own inner softness, but also help me to remain strong and focused, and that it will facilitate a deeper integration of the masculine and feminine within me, so that I can manifest that integration in the world. Amen. Aho. So it is. I love that. Bluebird said that that you're going back and smelling last year's tools. When we do perfuming, part of what I always hope is that it inspires you to go back to tools that you already have and revisit them, reconnect with them. I feel the same way. You know, I often will be like, oh my God, I think I have that somewhere. Oh, I should probably start working with frankincense too. And then all of a sudden you're back in the mix, you know, with your tools. So I love that maybe you're revisiting or reimagining. That makes me really happy. All right, so I want you to start with ginger. And I want you to decide how much ginger you'd like to use. The ginger is the sharpest of the 3 oils that I've given you, and it's the most likely to hijack your perfume. The other migraine oils that I like, opoponax, basil's good for migraine too. I like petitgrain, lavender, and black pepper. And holy shit, you guys, try blending that. It's going to be your new favorite perfume. Opoponax with petitgrain, a little bit, just a touch of basil, because basil can get too much too fast. A little bit of lavender, and then a whole bunch of black pepper. It's beautiful. It really, really is beautiful. The lavender brings the floral. The opoponax kind of grounds it a little bit. The black pepper sharpens it, and so does the petitgrain a little bit. Petitgrain makes the lavender pop. Can you tell I love making perfume? And we are, when I start my Perfume Around the World class, which is coming in July, it's going to be, Soul Shifters are getting a discount. Crystal Masters is not, but Soul Shift is getting a discount on Perfume Around the World. So if you want to join that class, more information will be coming about that soon. Okay, so I'm going to use, I think, about half of my ginger. This does not need to become a ginger blend for me. Did you see the smoke start to come out when I poured the perfume in? So I used about half of my ginger, and that's going to work well for me. I like the energy of ginger. I don't want too much ginger. But I am going to use all of my galangal because I love it so much. And take a moment to smell them together because I want to make sure you like it. You know what I mean? If you don't like the galangal, you may not want to use as much. I like to add my quartz point at the end, Jax. You can add it now, though. Yeah. Yeah, everything in here is mellow in my experience, except the ginger, which can be too sharp. So, but go at your own pace and do what you like. You know, you may be a total ginger person and just want more ginger on top of more ginger. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. But I am adding all of the galangal into my blend. Now, and I can smell the copal in there too because the smoke is still there. Okay, woo! It's yummy. So what you're experiencing right now before we add the black pepper is you're getting the masculine and the feminine of the ginger family, which I think is really cool. There aren't a lot of opportunities to experience the same family of plant, masculine, feminine. Isn't that neat? No, I don't sell that headache blend, and why don't I? I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I should. You should just make it, and then you can make it. Okay, now I want you to bring your bottle with the ginger and the galangal, and I want you to bring the black pepper up to your nose and smell them together. Because that's going to help you determine how much black pepper you want to add. I love black pepper, so I'm using about 2/3. I'm going to save just a little bit of my black pepper because this is a nice size bottle to keep by my bedside, and every night before I go to sleep, this goes in my, just a little bit in the palm of my hand with my my initiation balm, the new moon balms that we made you last year. Do you remember those? That's still one of my favorite SG products of all time, and I still have a little bit left in all my containers. So I keep my myrrh balm next to my bed, and I put a little black pepper in there and just rub that between my hands and deep inhale, because myrrh is really good for sleep. Myrrh relaxes the central nervous system. So if you have any kind of insomnia, myrrh is super good for that. And I always like to turn it 3 times. And now smell and see if you like it. It's totally different, isn't it? Now, do you see, I hope you see, that the black pepper made the galangal stronger. Did you notice that? As soon as you add, and that's what I call tightening of fragrance. The black pepper tightens up the galangal and it brings it forward. Can you smell it? Woo! Are you awake now? I don't think I don't think we have enough of the oils to package everything and sell it separately, but let me talk to Brooklyn about it. What's good for staying awake? Rosemary. I don't love rosemary. Sorry. I just don't love rosemary. But that will wake you up for sure. Now I'm going to add the rest of the jojoba to fill this bottle. And what's nice about adding the carrier oil, there's 2 things that are nice about it. The first thing is you make this now skin safe, okay? Because natural essential oils on their own can be irritating to the skin. So we call that neat. You don't really want to wear essential oils neat, meaning undiluted. Some oils are okay neat, and my skin is not very sensitive. So I'm able to tolerate even like cinnamon neat and orange neat, which a lot of people are not able to do. But if you don't know for sure that you are non-reactive, you should always dilute your essential oils. The other benefit of jojoba, and this I learned from my mama, I got it from my mama. My mom is an esthetician by trade. That's what she did for her whole life till she retired. And she's a master of her craft. And what she taught me about jojoba is the only oil, well, one of the only oils. Argan kind of does the same thing. Neem to a certain extent. These are all good for your hair too, by the way. Jojoba mimics the natural sebum that your skin produces. What does that mean? That means that when you take just pure jojoba oil like this and rub it into your skin, like into your cuticles, you don't have to wash your hands. Inside of 5 minutes, my hands will not feel greasy because my skin recognizes jojoba, and yours will too, as exactly the same thing as, like, you know, your own natural oils. When you wake up in the morning, the little bit of oil that's on the surface of your skin is exactly the same texture. So try it with your jojoba just to have the experience of it, right? It's so good for your skin. It's really good. Like, I like to bring it through my hair and just on the ends. It's really good for keeping the cuticle of your hair really nice too. And then see how you feel. Like, I would not feel the need to wash my hands now. They don't feel greasy or oily. You can see my hand too. It doesn't look super oily, and I just rubbed oil all over it, right? So, right? So and technically Kenneth is right. It's not even oil. It's the wax of the plant, right? So, in any case, I think this is really, really cool. And it's one of the best things for your skin. And it's non-comedogenic. It's not going to break you out. Isn't that cool? I love, love, love it. So I use it, like the new scrub I've made for Sage Goddess, I made it with jojoba oil because I want you to be able to use that scrub and dry brush with it, even if you're not taking a shower or a bath, and be able to use it that way. So what do you think of your perfume? Do you like it? Now you can add your quartz point now, you can write your label now. I'm going to do all that afterward. I like to play with my perfume. I just wanted to craft it all with you for right now. And I'm going to put the caps on my little bottles because I'm famous for knocking all of this over. If you have black pepper and ginger, what could you add in place of galangal? Other feminine aphrodisiacs, I'd love to see you work with Christiana. Ylang ylang would be really nice. That's a beautiful feminine aphrodisiac. Yeah. I made a new scrub. It's not available yet. It's called Bear. It's coming soon. It's an anti-cellulite scrub. Very cool, right? Yeah, ylang ylang would be beautiful in this. So if you have a little ylang and you want to add it. Now, some people hate ylang ylang, so I'm not telling you you have to, but I just know a lot of people who really don't enjoy ylang ylang. And that's okay. To each her own. Did you have fun? Crafting perfume, it's one of my favorite things to do. Do you like it? Okay, so now, whatever you're gonna anoint with tonight, go get that. If you're gonna anoint with this blend, if you're gonna anoint with something else. Yeah. Oh, and you put the oil in the drum too. I love that. And you use that as well. Very cool, you guys. This, these kits are usually available at Sage Goddess on like the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of each month. And Alexis posts in the Facebook group when they come up too. And I always have them on my tray. So if you watch my daily live videos at the beginning of each month, you won't miss it. In fact, I think we still have some for next month, don't we, Alexis? Or did we sell out? I don't know. Oh, I like that. Phoenix perfume would be nice for tonight too. I mean, it's the work that we're doing, right? So Phoenix would be fantastic as an alternative to this. So I'm just putting a little bit at my wrist for what I do. A little bit on my 3rd eye for what I know. And a little bit at my ankles for where I go. Isn't that nice? And then one of the odd things that I do with these oils, but again, it's just because they're neuroprotective, is just a little bit inside my nose. You don't have to do that part either. Oh, I love that. Yeah, you can use the tools from this month's kit if you want. Like I said, I do both because some people have those tools, some people have these tools, and yeah. But this month's Phoenix Elixir perfume is everything you need for tonight's journey. So if you don't have this kit, don't worry. You've got something perfect to work with. Yeah. Love, love, love it. Yeah, I use coconut oil to remove my eye makeup. So there's something new coming that I formulated for Sage Goddess called Under Eye Magic. And it's a coconut, rose hip seed, pomegranate base with all of the oils to reduce bags under your eyes. Do you ever get bags under your eyes? I'm notorious for them. And I made a little one for me at home. I've been working with it for about 3 or 4 months. I'm obsessed. And so I have created it for Sage Goddess. It's coming next week, I think. And that is a great eye makeup remover too. And it's so soothing and you'll love it for your eyes. I'm starting to make more bath and body products again. I couldn't do much of that last year because of the pandemic. So now you're going to be seeing me on a roll. I think we're launching, oh, and I bought a bath bomb machine for Sage Goddess. So now we're going to be producing all of our own gemstone bath bombs with all of your favorite perfumes too, because I love bath bombs. I'm going to make a cellulite bath bomb to bomb your cellulite off. So anyway, we're really excited. We couldn't be as creative this last year because lockdown and no ingredients and all of that. So get ready. This is reunion. This is reunion tonight. Enjoy. That's the scent of the two halves of you becoming whole. And the reintegration, which is so healing and calming and balancing to your central nervous system, right? Like take a moment with that and really let it settle. It's an amazing experience. Yeah. I'm so glad you're excited. Yeah, you guys will have to let Alexis know what scents you would like first in your bath bombs. We're so excited. It was I've wanted to have a machine forever, but it's a big investment. But I finally did that this year, and we're so excited to get that spinning. Yeah. All right, you ready? So now we are anointed. We have crafted. Let's drum together, shall we? So drums raise energy, which means I like to drum in a circle, especially if we're going to be journeying a little bit and talking to this drum and asking this drum to teach us, show us, guide us, right? I'm so glad you like the smell of this, by the way. Makes me so happy because we design all these things for you, but then when it actually happens and it's in your hands, the fact that you love it is like, it's like, you know, if someone cooks a meal for you and it tastes good, it's like, oh, I'm so glad you like the dinner I made. So, yay. So I want to welcome in the guides and the guardians of the East tonight to join us, to be with us, to guide us, to inspire us. I want to invite in the guides and the guardians of the South to inspire us, to shift and transform us, to lead us toward our highest possible evolution, our development. And then I want to welcome in the guides and the guardians of the West to heal us, to take from us what's too heavy to carry, to bring us divine ease and flow and grace. And I want to welcome in the guides and the guardians of the North tonight to anchor us, to hold us, to steady us, to support us, to be present with us, to teach us how to enjoy this moment, which is such a big deal, like just be here now. And I want to welcome in the guides and the guardians of the spirit element, that fifth direction, to animate us, to be with us, to infuse us with the essence, the luminescence, as we were talking about during our readings today, to illuminate us, to bless us. We're so grateful. And we give thanks for all of those beings and presences, ancestors who may want to come and be with us. They're welcome too. Spirit guides, light beings from other dimensions. We just welcome all that support, all that beauty. That's right, Colin. I am here. You are here. We are here. Take a moment to consciously be here now. I know life is challenging right now. I know it. Take a moment to just fully be here with me for this next, 45 minutes that we have together. Just commit to being here now. It's a gift that you give you, this time. It's an investment in your peace and in your balance and in your happiness, in your alignment. It's so important. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah. So important. And I believe that when you do this, you bless everybody around you too, because you fill your chalice, so you've got something to give. If we don't fill the well, that well runs dry. So this is your time your time for you, and it's critical. It is as much your job as anything else that you do to take good care of yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. The older you get, the more you realize that's true. It's your job, right? Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a single beat, and I'm going to show you single and I'm going to show you double, and you can decide what you want to do. But for these next 5 minutes, I just want to drum, okay? I'm not going to talk. You can talk if you want to. You can sing. Maybe not 5 minutes, but just a few minutes here, just to get us into the rhythm together. And I'm going to start with a single beat, and then I'll move to a double beat, and I'm going to come back to a single beat, and you'll see what I mean. And I want you to see how it goes. Try to stay with me. These are not complex beats. I'm not doing anything freaky tonight, relatively speaking. Don't be scared. Are you ready? Woo! And here we go. You can experiment by making it lighter or stronger. Notice the difference when you're in the middle of the drum, when you're on the edge. Get out of your head. You're doing a great job. Start to feel your heartbeat. Notice your heartbeat.
Breathing with you that I taught you earlier this year. 2 inhales, 4 exhales. Ready? Try your hands if you prefer. Nope. Get my hand in a different position. Yeah, feel it? It's a little bit tighter with your hand in the middle, like it more on the edge. We'll go to a double beat. Sounds like this. Easy, right? No worries, Megan. We love you. It's okay. If breathing and drumming at the same time gets you distracted, just be with the drum. I'm holding my drum like this, like a little claw, and I've got the one direction of the sinew between my forefinger and my middle finger. You like the double? Find your footing. You will. And try drumming every day, just a little. Get my playlist, play along. It'll get easier. I like the double. Fun? All shamanic drums have the middle thing. A frame drum doesn't, so I hold it on the edge. You can watch me during the full moon. I always use my frame drum, and you can watch me do that. I'm going to show you how I drum when I'm doing shamanic drumming, and you've seen me do more of this pattern before, just to show you as an example, and you'll see that it's kind of a hybrid of the single and the double beats, okay? And that's when you can start to riff on your own and find your own rhythm. If you want to try drumming along here,
heartbeat, right? It's drumming the heartbeat. When I go in the garden, this is all I do. I'm giving my life force to you, right? I'm giving my heart, my spirit, my soul. Thank you, plants. Love you, hummingbirds. Love you, Joseph. Look at that, Jasmine. Love you, roses. Thank you, lavender. Oh yeah, thyme. I see you, rosemary. Oh yeah. Right? Tell me, Jessica, what you'd like me to explain a little bit better. Now let's go back to single, okay? No, Space Daisy, stay with me. You got this one. Ready? So let's try the single first. The middle, right in the center, is more dull. Yes, Joanne, you got it, okay? And the outer edge is more round, sometimes a little tinny. Go, Joseph, go, Joseph, go, 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 Joseph. Oh, God, I gotta make you laugh a little bit. We need more cowbell, that's right. Joseph singing his song today. My birds and animals probably think I'm just flipping nuts. Now the shamanic beat, let me play that for you again, okay? It's kind of a 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 2. You hear it? Joseph's my bird who sings. All right, now, do you feel like you have the basics? You have your single time. You have your double time. Did you get the shamanic beat right away? I'm proud of you. It's not easy. Okay, I'm going to play it again. You got it? Yeah. It's fun, and you're going to find your rhythm. I promise you. And wait until you play that playlist. And you're drumming along to that song, and you're like, I'm a drummer. I didn't even know I was a drummer, right? But you can't breathe Vegas. That's right, Marianne Belafontaine. You can't breathe the Vegas with the shamanic beat. So let's do double again with Vegas. If you're having a panic attack, grab your drum, double time, Vegas nerve. Ready? It's an inhale for 2, exhale for 4. Kids will love this. They will want their own drum. If you do this before bedtime, I know it sounds like the funniest thing, they'll sleep better. And you can do the mother beat, you can do a shamanic beat and have them just hold the single beat for you. Or if you have 2 kids, and all of a sudden you've got like a harmonic going, right? Get the whole family involved. Yeah. Oh God, Susie Bloom just said that this is giving her flashbacks to second grade Christmas when the teachers came up to her and took the bongos away because she was being bad. I think something like that happened to me too, and I think I repressed it. I was always bad in school, so I was constantly having things taken away from me. Big surprise. And I wasn't bad, I just talked too much. I just talked all the time to everybody. If you were standing next to me, I was going to talk to you, even if I was taking a math test, and I got in trouble a lot for that. I'd be like, how's this test going? Oh yeah, we probably shouldn't talk right now. Athena Parakis! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You do not talk during a test. Okay. Then I'd be like, hey, can I borrow your pencil sharpener? Athena Parakis! Zip it! Who knew, right? I would end up talking for a living. Oh God, and Zoe's just like me. She's just like me. So anyway, apples and trees. All right, now, did he really call you Babu because you talk too much? That's so awesome. Melissa Jennings, I love that so much. Anyway, if you ever say to me, Athena Parakis, I'm going to be like, what? What did I do? Shit. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking. I'm sorry. I probably say it in my sleep. I'll stop talking. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Can't shut up. All right. Now we're going to journey. Are you ready? So what we're going to do, that makes me happy, Julie, to read that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, now you can drum with me or let me drum for you. Okay, I do want you to hold your drum, okay, because if you have a drum with you, this is to meet the spirit of your drum. So you don't have to drum to meet the spirit of the drum, but I would like you to hold it so that you can feel the energy of it. But you can drum with me. If you want to drum with me, I would encourage you to do it. We haven't done that before. And now with every journey, you'll be able to drum with me. At the new moon, at the full moon, everything that we do, you'll be able to drum with me, which is so super cool. But I'm going to drum for you for the next few minutes. I'm going to lead you through this guided journey. And my intention is that you will feel the spirit of this creation. And its voice will show you how to play it. And this is when you can ask your drum, please show me how to play you. And listen for its voice and see how it guides you. Are you ready? I want you to, you don't have to close your eyes, especially if you're drumming. It can make it complicated for some people when you're learning. But I want you to, in your mind, release all your thoughts that are distracting you from anything but your experience connecting with this sacred instrument. And what we're doing tonight is going back in time. I want you to visualize the artisans, by the way, are very spiritual people who made these drums. And I want you to imagine the moment when they were laying out the skin for your drum, laying out this beautiful goat hide, or whatever drum you're using. Maybe it's elk, maybe it's cow, maybe it's deer. And I want you to imagine the moment that this skin was being laid out next to the frame. We can go back to the moment when the teak wood for this frame was being harvested. And let's take a moment to say thank you to that mother teak for the offering of her wood for this beautiful instrument. And let's give thanks to the spirit of the goat for making its offering to you. It's a direct relationship here. It's important that you have this relationship. So gratitude to the goat, gratitude to the teak, bowing to those spirits. And goat, we thank you for the independence, the healing, the strength, the tenacity, the courage that you offer. Mother Teak feels good, doesn't it? She's so strong. Thank you, Mother Teak. Thank you for the gift of this wood that withstands the elements just like you do. Thank you for the beauty, the softness, the intensity of the color, the richness, the color of your wood. Thank you for teaching us how to be soft and strong, as you do, as you are. Thank you for coming together. Thank you for uniting in this sacred instrument. Thank you for offering us this beauty. Let's give thanks to the artisans who made these drums. Let's send blessings. Let's send sweet medicine to them. May their lives be blessed. May their families be blessed. And now I want you to listen and ask the spirit of this drum, the goat spirit, the teak spirit, the spirit of the artisan who crafted it, to show you, to tell you, to infuse into you, into this drum, its message for you. Why did it choose you? How are you here right now with this drum, right? How many synchronicities had to happen to bring you here? What is the message? The spirit of this drum. Speak to us, spirit of the drum. What are you for? When should we work with you? What do you want us to know? Right? I'm hearing when you're sad, need healing, when you've lost your way, when you feel weak and need to find your strength. And now, Spirit of the Drum, connect with the spirit of our heart. So that we can hear you, so that we can feel you, so that we can sense you. So that we can channel you, receive you. And to the spirit of the drum, if there's anything you want to teach us about how to play you, we ask that you move our hand, guide us, lead us. This drum almost sings. There's like a sound behind the sound. It's like a whisper or a whistle. And when you really start to drop in, I can almost see the Balinese village where these were crafted. Feel the warm air surrounding you like a hug. Feel the energy of the artisans taking such pride and care. Each drum made by hand, tied by hand, with love, with focus, with intention. Just say thank you. Beautiful. Aligned to love and healing. Well, that's beautiful. I love reading your comments too. Thank you. And then when I complete a journey, I like to just do a simple beat 4 times to honor the 4 directions. You've seen me do this 100 times, but I'm teaching you the why tonight. And so the first time, so it's 1 and then 2, single beat, double beat, and I direct that to the east, to the south, to the west, to the north, and that is for the circle. And a nice deep breath there. Could you feel the energy of the people, the place, the animal, the wood? Could you feel it all? I really felt like I was in Bali for a second. It's like, and it's not warm in my room. But all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can feel like the humid kind of bally air. And if you allow yourself to go for that journey, it will take you, right? I'm used to drumming, so my hand doesn't get tired. I drum every day for probably at least 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. So you develop a nice kind of upper body strength if you, it really starts to support muscle development in your arms. So it's actually really nice. As we get older, these muscles tend to get a little bit weaker. You know what I mean? I lift weights too, like just 5-pound weights, but I do 100 reps a day just to keep my upper body strong. And part of it is so that I can drum. Because I'm not supporting my arm, it'll affect the tone. Right? So lift some, if you're going to get into drumming, lift some 5-pound weights. You can get them on Amazon. I can show you my arm routine if you ever want to see that. It's weird, but I have I have a friend who's a trainer and taught me which exercises to do to keep this from getting kind of, funky. And it will also really help you when you're doing drumming, because if you're not going to be able to support your arms and you want to be able to go for a while. You want to keep going? Well, we can drum again. We're going to decorate our drums next session. Would you guys like to drum again next week? After we decorate, can we drum one more time? I would love to lead you for another 15, 20 minutes or half an hour. So if you're down for that, let's drum again next week. I loved it. I mean, we can drum all the time now. You got to drum. Okay, I'll show you. I'll post a little video of it in the Facebook group. It's weird. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm an exercise guru or anything, but at least it would give you a little, it's just 3 specific exercises, but it targets right here. It targets right here. And it just keeps the arms from going flippy floppy in your 50s and 60s and 70s, which they will do if you don't keep them tight. So what I would say is, if you want to do this with me, go on Amazon and get yourself some 5-pound weights. That way you'll be all ready to go. They're not expensive. Get the cheapest pair you can get, because like expensive 5-pound weights are not any better than cheap 5-pound weights. If you're very weak upper body, start with 2-pound weights and then work your way up to 5. 10 is going to build some bulk, and I don't want that, so I do 5. And then you'll have everything you need. Look at us. We are fixing your skin tonight. We are teaching you how to drum, and we are tightening up your upper body. Who knew? I love it. And if your arms aren't tired, then you probably have some good upper body strength, which is fantastic too. Okay, so we called those guides in. Now we gotta let them be. So now I want to release the guides and the guardians of those beautiful 5 directions. That's awesome that you lift 5 times a week. Yeah, 2 soup cans is okay too. If you have nothing else, use soup cans, full soup cans, right? Not empty soup cans. I see you. Not you, Michelle Nasello, but other people would be like, I'm totally lifting and nothing's happening. And it's like, it's because you're using empty soup cans, honey. They weigh 2 ounces a piece. You use 20s, Kenneth? Well, you may be in a whole different category than I am. I'm just trying to keep this from going funky. Oh, you guys are cute. Yeah, go to Dollar Store, Dollar General, or they've got little cheapy weights too. And Yard Work will do it too. All right, let's release our guides and guardians. I want to thank and release the guides and guardians of the spirit element. Thank and release the guides and guardians of the north. Releasing the guides and the guardians of the west. Releasing the guides and the guardians of the south. And releasing the guides and the guardians of the east. Thank you to all of the guardians for being present to our work today, for helping to guide us, to hold the space while we raised our energy together, and for helping us connect to the spirit of this drum in a good way. Amen, aho. So it is. So, that concludes the content portion of tonight's class. I did want to stay and see if you have questions. I'm so glad. Have you fallen in love with your drum? I hope so. I really do. Oh, interesting. Brenda said, you guys might want to check this out. Brenda said, just switch drumming hands, and oh my God, I love drumming non-dominant even more. So for me, that would be drumming with my left hand. I am not ambidextrous. I'd have to get used to that. I just haven't done it. Where do I get my oils from? All over this beautiful earth. Yeah, I work with all different distilleries all over the planet. I don't get from retail companies, like I don't buy from, you know, doTERRA or any of those people. I go direct to the distilleries, and I have to work with a variety of distilleries because I import really rare oils. So most of them are in India, one is in Malaysia, one's in Egypt, so we import from all over the world. God, there's like 6 birds outside. I swear the drumming just like invited them all. My milkshake brought the boys to the yard. You're vegetarian? So there are vegan drums out there. I will tell you, I'm not a vegetarian, but I understand the vegetarian spirit, the vegan spirit. These hides are not, like, the animals are not killed to get the hide for these drums. So it's what's kind of nice about that, if you look at it from that perspective, is what it means is that all parts of the animal are made valuable instead of going to waste, right? So the goats provide a source of protein, right? The meat of the goat. And so in this case, it allows the skin to be used in a way that is sacred as opposed to being thrown away. Does that make sense? So you having a drum doesn't mean that they went and took the life of a goat to create your drum. That's not how it happened. It actually is a way of allowing the animal to be of service in a way that completes the cycle. Does that make sense? So that's how I look at it, but I totally understand. And the other thing I'll tell you is there are people who make vegan drums. They're very expensive, but you can find them where they're non-animal hides too. Yeah, my Remo drum is synthetic, you know, and you can find artistic vegan drums is what I'm saying. There's a beautiful woman, I just found her website. I can share it with you. Her drums are gorgeous. They're very expensive. They're between 400 and 500 pounds sterling, which I don't know what the conversion rate to dollars right now is, but I think that's about like $600 or $700. But you know, if you've got the budget and you want to have a vegan tool, like there are people who will do that, and I support you, right? The Sarasvati drums were vegan. That's right. These are an animal drum. That's right. Yeah. I would never support working with a tool where an animal was injured to create the tool. But honestly, I don't really know anybody who would. I can't imagine a person who would be okay with that, because the energy, like, you would feel that on your tool. I can't even imagine. And I will say I'm eating less meat and animal products now than I almost ever have. I mean, on many days I am eating a vegan diet and feeling really good too. And getting dairy out of my diet and all of that. My skin's gotten better, so I support the vegan path. I just really love steak and lamb, and I'm Greek. I always use that as my excuse. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I love reading your comments. It's really helpful. Jessica's still drumming, and you know what, girl? Get it. Do you guys have any questions for me that I can answer for you? I would love to stay here with you for 10 or 15 minutes and just see what's on your mind. I mean, if there's nothing pressing or, you know, that you'd like to talk about, that's okay too. And if you would rather not stay or can't stay, if you need to go take care of friends, family, whatever you need to do, we are almost at the top of the hour, so you're welcome to sign up too if you feel like your evening is complete. I support that as well. Vanya's name gave her a drum, Noah, and the beat to play 1-3-1-3-1-1-1-1-1-3. I'm with you, Kenneth. I love cheese. I feel like cheese is a food group, but I have pretty much given it up except some feta, which I do know that feta is still an animal product. So let me go up in the feed a little bit and see what's on your mind. Woo, hold on. Just did something funky to my computer. I am going up. Let's see. Oh, I'm so glad. Glad that you're here, Siren of the Void, too. Okay, so Cassandra got a vegan drum on Amazon. Good to know. So, yeah, maybe Amazon is a good source for you. Let's see. Let's see. I'm so glad you like it, Melanie. Jen Barnes, there's a perfume we made last year in Soul Shift with osmanthus and balsam. I'm out in need of more oils. I've tried sourcing my own, but the aromas are so off. Do you sell them? Unfortunately, we don't sell them separately. And the reason is I can't afford to. It's so expensive to buy the oils that we use to make our perfumes. I mean, I'm sure you can imagine that to buy more of the oils just to sell as the oils would be really hard for us to do. Osmanthus is a really tough one to find. We did go direct to the distiller for that one, and I've never seen any of the big companies carry it. So let me check and see if like in cases where you probably can't find that oil elsewhere, I can see if there's a way we could do that. Can you drum and belly dance? Of course you can. I mean, it takes training, you know, like those are two very complex, you know, to do your movements and your drumming would take some skill, but you got skill, girl. You can do it. Let's see here. Any tips on getting that shamanic drum beat down? Practice every day. Practice every day. Go get my drum list, you know what I mean, and enjoy it. And you will love drumming to music. Do you want me to try playing one of the songs really quick so that you can see? You want to try it? See what I mean? It's more fun with the beat. Can you share more about why you wish you were a Taurus? Because they're more artistic than I am, and they're also more grounded than I am. Those are my main things. I'm not very grounded, and I'm not as artistic in terms of like. My art is like perfume. My art is, you know, I can create mandalas. I'm an incredible interior designer. I can create jewelry, but I'm not like an artist. I guess I've never thought of myself that way. And I always see Taurus as artists. Could you talk about the difference between spirit and soul as they relate to alchemy? That's an interesting question. I mean, I tend to think of the soul, what we call the Atman, right? The animated essence of who you are across time, as distinct from spirit, which is one of the elements, and also sort of, you know, what animates the universe. So I think of the spirit as sort of a bigger, like spirit with a capital S and soul with a little s, if that makes sense. I think of soul as the individual and spirit as the collective. That was a great question. Let's see. What would be the core thing, this is from Casey, we should pull out of this month's work of separation in regards to alchemy? It's a great question. You know, I'll tell you what it's been for me. For me, what the core of this work has been is, and this has been so helpful for me as a mom, so this is just my personal journey, is really understanding where I stop and other people begin, and what's mine and what's not mine. And for me, that's a continual process. I have to constantly do that because my life is so entangled with my children, my family, my extended family, my parents, my community, my employees, right? And so, and if I'm not careful, it's very easy for me for it all to get kind of mingled. And when that happens to me, this is just me personally, I can get very depressed, and I can start feeling like a lack of power. And so what's very important for me as a woman, as a mom, as a partner, as an employer, as a leader of the community, is for me to really be clear about what's me and what's not me, what's mine and what's not mine. And so this last phase of separation, it's really about understanding where you end and others begin. And once you isolate those things, then your power gets stronger, and you become less codependent, you become less resentful. You don't try to take on other people's problems or fix their problems for them and stuff. It gets very slippery. And in Casey, you can let me know if that makes sense to you, but that's my personal work this month in this phase of alchemy, because I'm doing this right alongside you. And it's tricky. Oh, I'm so glad, Lizette. Thank you for that feedback. The music is my playlist on SoundCloud called Drum Circle. And Alexis has the link for you if you'd like to go and follow me. On SoundCloud, my account is under my real name, Athena-Parakis. And I have about, 15 playlists there that you can follow and listen to. Good night, Pamela. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that, Alexis. Lori said, do you have any good fire perfumes, like the fire one that came with a candle, or bonfire, or inferno? I was going to say bonfire. Bonfire is my best fire perfume. That actually smells like fire. Sheila's a Taurus. Of course you're a Taurus. I just have a little envy about the sun sign, you know what I mean? Valori said, I saw lots of spirit animals appear in my drum when we were drumming fox, deer, owl. Isn't that interesting? It's like the whole animal kingdom came to surround you. I love that so much. Janine said, yes, I have a random question. I'm going out on a date with a man who loves ghosts. I'm always drawn to these types of people. What are your thoughts on ghosts and spiritualists? So obviously, a ghost is a disembodied spirit, and I believe that they are real. The only time I've seen a ghost, candidly, was in the house where I grew up. Until the age of 12, 13, we lived in that house, in the same city where I live now. And I've wanted to go and ask the current owner if they ever saw her, but I think they did a remodel. In my experience, when you remodel, sometimes you lose your ghosts. My mom had gone to an antique store and bought this dresser, okay? And she still has it. So and the woman came with the dresser. So as soon as we got that dresser in the house, my mom started seeing her. She looked like she was very Victorian. She had like the dress that has like the bump in the back, and like very tight up the neck, and it was very like this. And the ghost would like go up and down the hall, from my mom's bedroom to down to where our kids' bedrooms were, and then back to her bedroom. And so when we moved from that house to where they live now, 36 years ago or whatever, we never saw her again. So I think she's still in the house, but I think she came in with the dresser. But that's the only official ghost I've ever seen. And it looks like a ghost in a movie. You can kind of see through it. But when my aunt died, my mom saw my aunt die. She was the only person in the room, and she saw my aunt's soul leave her body. I've told you this story many times. And the way she described it is just like that ghost. You can tell it's a person, and you can see the features, but it's see-through. So I do believe in them for sure. Good luck on your date, by the way. I want to know how it goes. Let's see. Go Janine. Crystal's going to be drumming a lot. I love that. Good night, Brittany James. Ariana wants us to watch Pachamama on Netflix, which I will. I'm always looking for something new on Netflix. Enjoy that playlist. Let's see. Could I show you this shamanic beat slower? Yeah. Can you use oils and perfumes on your drum? You can. It's a skin. I wouldn't. Now, I wouldn't like fill up my palm with oil and, you know what I mean. But once you anoint with your oils, rub a little bit in. It's perfectly fine. You're not going to hurt your drum. If you have a hand painted drum, just be careful because you can disrupt the paint. A lot of my drums are hand painted, and so I'm very careful because I just don't want to mess up the drum. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, thanks you guys. I really appreciate it. Let's see, I'm just going through. Thank you guys. I appreciate that so much. I think it's true about artists being a mindset, right? What do you tell your kiddos about what happens when you die? My 7-year-old is so afraid of you dying, right? My kids have not asked me a lot of questions about death and dying. So we just kind of haven't crossed that bridge yet. I mean, of course, they've seen movies and stuff like that, and they've seen, funerals and things, but they haven't really asked me too much about the soul, what happens in that way. Yeah, I'm ready with all the answers once they start asking questions. I mean, my kids know they can ask me anything, but they know I'm going to tell them the truth. So I think they just haven't gotten there yet. Jessica said, can you please tell us more about how you regained your vision? Yeah, it just slowly came back. That's how I was diagnosed with MS, is I lost my vision 11 years ago. This fall, it'll be 11 years. Can you believe that? I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, on business. I was consulting to the CEO of the electric company down there. I was training his executives on a learning program that I had built. I think it was for human resources. I used to teach human resources, finance, and sales training. I led training in human resources, finances, and sales. And I think this was an HR training that I had built for them. So I'd flown and I was on my way to Siemens in Germany to deliver a finance training program to the Siemens executives there in their Munich headquarters. And was it Munich? I can't remember. I was flying into Munich. Anyway, so I had left San Francisco. I'd flown to Chattanooga, and I was in Chattanooga. I was supposed to be there for 2 days and then get on a plane to Germany. And I wasn't supposed to be home for 2 weeks. And I got up the morning I was supposed to go deliver the training. I got up at like 7 a.m. and we were supposed to start at 8. And I woke up, my alarm went off, and I couldn't see out of my left eye. It was the scariest thing that had ever happened to me. So I called Dave, and I called my boss, and I said, I can't see. And so long story short, the CEO of the company got me into his doctor, who said, you got to go home because this is either a brain tumor or it's MS, and I don't have an MRI machine here, so you need to get on a plane as soon as possible. And so I went home, canceled Germany, canceled the rest of the Chattanooga training. My colleague flew in and took over for Chattanooga, and they flew somebody else to Germany. Ultimately ended up having to retire at some point because that job required so much travel, and it was very stressful for my health. But the left eye vision returned about 3 months later, and then I lost the vision in my other eye, and that returned about 3 months later. So I was legally blind. I couldn't drive and stuff for about 8 months. It was very hard. Yeah. Janisa, how do you access light language? I think today's collective card of the throat chakra is calling. Yeah, huh? Here's what I'm going to tell you about this, and this is kind of a long story, so I can tell you a little bit now, and then we can talk more about this if you want. So what people call light language, I grew up in the Christian church. My grandmother was a minister before I was born, and then my mom and my grandmother took me to the same church where they used to go before I came along. So I grew up in an evangelical church, going every Sunday, and they called it speaking in tongues. And I spoke in tongues once in church, and it was an intense experience. I was very young. I don't even think I was 10 years old. And I remember everybody gathering around and going, oh my God, she's the Holy Spirit. She's got the Holy Spirit. She's speaking in tongues. I totally remember. And I mean, it's just like all the sounds coming through, and it wasn't anything I recognized. I think I was a little scared afterward, but it was mostly because people were like coming around and making a big deal about it. So I still think of it as speaking in tongues, what they call light language. And what I think of, I mean, in the Christian church, it's considered a gift of the Holy Spirit. I think it's when Spirit kind of takes you over and communicates through you. Unfortunately, I've seen some people do it and have it later be revealed that it was kind of contrived. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't from their heart and soul. So now I always wonder, like, is it really coming through, or is it spontaneous? Is it from the Holy Spirit? Is it from some other thing? So I'm kind of wishy-washy on the light language thing, just because I think it's possible to speak light languages, and I think some people do it authentically. But I've also heard of other cases where it wasn't authentic, and so it kind of calls it into question for me a little bit. Yeah, we do retreats, Heidi Hawking, and we did up until the pandemic. We will do a retreat again. I don't know whether we'll do it in-house at Sage Goddess or whether we'll, rent a space to do it. Just because we haven't designed any public spaces yet at Sage Goddess because of the pandemic. I don't want to build it twice, you know what I mean? So, but we will do something special for Soul Shift, but it probably will be at least a year from now. I don't think we're anywhere near the end of COVID. I could be very wrong, but that's my intuition. I think we have a couple of years left of all of this stuff before it's really behind us. Is this helpful or interesting for you guys? I hope so. I'm glad it was uplifting for you, Julie. Yes, I do have recommended drum makers. And thank you for asking, Equus 1B. Alexis, can you help me with this? Because there are the two on Etsy that are so fantastic. Is it Shaman Drum or Sacred Drum? You guys will know too. And then there's one guy on eBay. The last time I tried to find him, I couldn't find him. It broke my heart. I was like, wait, where did he go? So he may not be around anymore. And then there's this woman I just found, you guys, with these vegan drums, and I think she's in the UK, because I remember there being a conversion between pounds and dollars. Anyway, I love these people. I really do. I think they are so flipping talented. And then there's Vartra on Etsy, who makes my my rattles. And he makes drums. A lot of you have seen these. I got ash on it, but anyway, he makes his rattles. His stuff is crazy sacred. I just adore him. And he puts crystals on them and stuff. So Vartra is on Etsy. Highly recommend. Thank you for asking that, by the way, because I want to share that with you, but I always forget to do it. So the fact that you asked is really great. And just tell them you're from Soul Shift. I don't share who they are with you to get anything out of it. I don't get anything out of it, but I do like them to know, that we're part of the same collective. I'll get you the list of the notes, and Lilith, Rochelle, just remind me. I love that. Was it really? Vanya said retreat was one of the most exciting things when she signed up last year. Yeah. Well, it will happen. I promise it will happen. I know some people teach online and without any intention of meeting people in person. I know that. That's not who I am. I really love being able to meet you in person and hug you and make eye contact and and they'll tell you, people who went to the retreat, we do breath work, I'm on the floor, I'm cuddling with you, I'm rubbing your forehead. I mean, I'm very, we did belly dance class together, we did a couple of different really incredible journeys together. We do breath work every time, because I think breath work is one of the most important experiences we do together during our retreat. It's a huge bonding experience. So meeting in person is always one of my goals. I'm an in-person person. And so, we don't have to meet in person, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do a retreat to be in my classes, but one of the reasons we do that is I really think it's an amazing thing. And what's really cool is, and I'm sure it won't surprise you, it's no different when we meet. It's like, oh yeah, I've known you all along. You know what I mean? It's not weird, it's not awkward, it's just like, oh, there you are. Now I get to hug you, kind of thing. So we try to, it's very casual, but we also structure it so there's activities and things that we're doing, and it's a super fun experience. I'm glad you got to see Torrance before we left, because the Torrance location was very special. It will always be very special to me. And Casey, I remember every minute we shared together at the retreat. I do. And Danielle, me too, same thing. You know, it's like I just remember every minute with everybody. Because it's one of the most important things I've ever done, is to hold those in-person experiences for you guys. Truly, one of the most important things I've ever done. So yeah, I look forward to more hugs. God, I miss hugs. I miss hugs so bad. I know, I want to cuddle. It was so good. Like, there were some of you during breath work, and we were like on the floor, and it was just like, because you're crying, and then I'm crying, and it's, you know, it was just a really magical experience. Thank you for that, Darlene. It makes me really happy. So as soon as the pandemic's over, but like I said, I think we've got another 8, if you want my intuitive hit, I think we have another 18 to 24 months of COVID. And I hope it's not as bad as what I've seen in my visions. I'm hoping it's just smooth sailing and it all gets better, but I have a feeling there's a rebound coming next year. So as soon as all of that is behind us, we will start getting something scheduled. Cuddle pile. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those cases when I really hope my intuition is wrong. Yeah. Aw, Tanya, is that true? Well, girl, I'm glad you feel different. I cannot wait to meet you and hug you. That makes me smile a little bit. I can't wait to meet you and hug you. And Tanya, you know, I would be so excited, not to put any pressure on you, but when you come to the retreat, it would be so fun maybe for you to host part of what we do. Tanya is the queen of magical crafting. I mean, you know this to be true. Wouldn't that be fun for you to lead like a play session for us? I would get all the supplies and all the things, but if you would lead it, I would just be so honored to have you do that. Am I sending my kids to school? In September, I am. Yeah, they're still at home right now. I hope they get to stay in school next year. I really, really do. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Thank you, Jessica. It makes me feel very honored. Animals scared of the drum, any advice? What you can do is put a little bit of your own scent on the drum, is what I recommend, so that they'll feel the connection to you through the drum, you know? Wouldn't that be fun, Tanya? Oh yeah, you'd do a better job than I would. KM said, at the end of the year, will you please make a cheat sheet of all the phases of alchemy to have handy? Let's do that, Alexis. I don't even want to wait till the end of the year. We will work on that, KM, and that's a brilliant suggestion. I really appreciate it, because I would like to have that too. Let me think about what should be on that spreadsheet, because I would want it to be kind of comprehensive. You know what I mean? So let me put some thought to this. We're gonna make stuff, Tanya. Yeah, so Equus 1B, I hope you saw or heard my response to your question about drum makers. We're going to give you guys all the information about who to get drums from. Yeah. Oh, Sheila, I feel the same way. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you in person. I really am. I agree with you, Holly Ward. My big full moon drum is a Remo drum. It's so easy to play, and you guys would just love playing that drum. This drum is hard to play compared to a Remo frame drum. So you might want to consider going that way, especially if you're vegan. How long does a Saturn return last? Anywhere from 2 to 4 years. Mine lasted 3. 27 to the end of 29. Yeah. When is the Lakshmi ring coming and where? So, did you hear about the latest shit show in India? They now have a cyclone. Right? Shram's been posting pictures on Facebook because it kind of decimated parts of the little village that's there. It's like, oof, they cannot catch a break. So I think I have 20 Lakshmi rings in Hessonite garnet coming to one of our live gem sales, but they're still being carved and set. So I imagine 4 to 6 weeks from now, maybe. I will let Soul Shift know what sale they're coming to. Alexis and I will let you know, because there's so few of them. And then they're working on carving littler ones that can be a listing on sagegoddess.com. But I think that's going to be holiday time, if you want to know the truth of it. Flippin' cyclone, man. I mean, right after the worst COVID wave that anybody's seen this year, and then a cyclone, it's like, please pray for India. It's horrible. It's so hard. Yeah, Vartra added all these new things. I was just on his site the other night too, Vanya, during one of my late night blackout shopping sessions that I'm not supposed to do anymore. And he has owl earrings and like, a girl could go crazy on his site. We're having a Soul Shift Crystal Masters exclusive live gem sale at the anniversary in July. That'll be the next one. Yeah. Can I make a 4-prong Asher cut citrine ring for you? I can. It's going to be expensive. Are you sure? Alexis, will you make a note of that? And I will start sourcing Asher citrine. I'm going to have it cut. And the Asher cut, as you know, I'm starting to work more on cutting faceted stones. So getting natural citrine is a trick, and then Asher cutting it's a trick, and then Asher setting it with double prongs is a trick. But it still would be less expensive than a diamond. I know. I can do an Asher citrine. I don't have one, but it sounds really sexy, doesn't it? I can do that. I'll work on that for you. I'll try to figure out how much it's going to cost. Let's see. Oh, this is awesome, you guys. Yeah, I will keep you posted for sure. All right, well, I'm going to sign off for now. I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed class tonight. I super enjoyed it. Every single minute of it. Can we talk scents when you want to wear multiple scents? Yeah, so stay tuned. Where all that conversation is going to happen is in the new class that's coming. So the world, it's called Perfume Around the World. It's a 3-class series that will run from July, August, and September. It's not part of Soul Shift, it's separate, but Soul Shift members are going to get a nice discount on the class if you want to take it. Everybody else, it'll be full price. And I'm going to be taking you through 3 countries of perfume, France, Indonesia, and Egypt this year in the 3-part series. So then we're going to talk about layering scent, we're going to talk about the scent pyramid, we're going to talk about the history of perfume, we're going to talk about the origin of perfume in Egypt, in Indonesia, and in France. Which in France it's a fascinating story because the beginning of the heart of perfume in France really started with someone who didn't want her gloves to smell bad. It's an amazing story, so I get to teach you all of that, which is very exciting. All right, you guys. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Alexis, for staying. I appreciate you so much. And more to come. Happy birthday, Casey. Thank you for spending part of your birthday with us. We love you so much. Cheers to the best year of your life ahead. Holding space for that. And